your neck starts hurting, your shoulders are hurting, and you're just like your body wants to give up.
It feels like you can't feel your legs and you gotta take breaks.
I use the bathroom before I leave, and I just wait till I get back here. We start working at 6 and we get out at 6, and I just wait till I get home.
It feels horrible because you feel like there's no air, and then you look down, you look beside, and then you're only halfway done, and you feel like it's time for us to get out because you feel like you're going to die in there.
So I went to North Carolina, and I went to the eastern part of the state and visited many tobacco farms and met many young kids who were working in tobacco. 13-year-old Sara Cambre Alvarez, 16-year-old Ana Flores, 15-year-old Edison Buenos. It is fairly prevalent, and I was shocked that a lot of these kids said, I work on the fields from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Ana Flores told me she wakes up at 5 in the morning, leaves for the fields at 6, gets to the fields at 7, works until 7 p.m., sometimes 8 p.m., sometimes 8:30. And a lot of these kids told me they get really sick some of the time. The nicotine, when there's a lot of dew, when it rains, the nicotine in the plants will kind of dissolve into the water, and when it gets on people's skin, that's when they get this nicotine poisoning green tobacco sickness, and they throw up, they get nauseous, they get dizzy. This one 15-year-old girl, Esmeralda Juarez, told me that at one point she was feeling so sick she asked her supervisor, I really need just to sit for 5 or 10 minutes. I'm feeling nauseous, and she told me that unless she kept on working, he was going to fire her. So it's a very difficult, shall I say, road to hoe. It's very difficult for these kids. It's very difficult for many workers. Even
getting access to water.
A lot of the workers say the days are too long. It's very, very hot. When North Carolina in the summer it can be 90, 95, even 100. And some of the workers I interviewed said that they'll work across the field, they'll be dying of thirst, so it might take another hour for them to, weed or pluck unwanted flowers off the plants, and to take them an hour to get back to the trucks where the water were. And they say they felt extremely thirsty, extremely uncomfortable.
Human Rights Watch found many child tobacco workers are expected to operate dangerous machinery, lift heavy loads, climb to perilous heights to hang tobacco for drying. One boy who preferred not to be named described the dangers he faces on the job.
Almost all of us climb up onto the wooden beams. They're 10, 15, 20, 30 meters high. Sometimes you can step into the wrong place and fall all the way down. If you suffer an accident, you can even lose your life. It's very dangerous.
I mean, Stephen Greenhouse, this is dangerous for adults, let alone children. You write, opponents of child labor note Brazil, India, and some other tobacco-producing nations already prohibit anyone under 18 from working on tobacco farms. What happened here?
So 3 years ago, then Secretary of Labor Hilda Solis proposed some broad new restrictions against child labor. She proposed that no children under 16 work in tobacco fields, and as part of that package she said no children under 16 should work with power-driven equipment like tractors. She also proposed that no children under 18 work in grain silos. There are some horrendous stories about kids being crushed to death in grain silos. Then, as often happens in the United States, there was a huge backlash by industry, by farmers saying this is terrible. We need these workers. It's important to have young workers learning agriculture, and if you ban them, it's going to really hurt the next generation of people in farming. And the Obama administration, this was now in 2012 during his re-election campaign, and basically the Obama administration caved and withdrew Secretary Solis's proposal. So now what's happening, Amy, is some advocates are trying to kind of refloat this idea just with regard to tobacco, thinking that in President Obama's last 2 years of office, with all these elections and politics behind him, he might have the courage to go forward with this ban on tobacco workers under age 16. Let
me read the Obama administration comment, statement, the press release that it issued. The Obama administration issued a press statement that read, The Obama administration is firmly committed to promoting family farmers and respecting the rural way of life, especially the role that parents and other family members play in passing those traditions down through the generations. Your response, Stephen Greenhouse.
I should have explained, Amy. So after Secretary Solis proposed this, all these farmers said, you know, we run family farms. We need our 10-year-olds and 12-year-olds and 14-year-olds able to work on the farms. And the Obama administration has explicitly exempted family farms and kids on those, and children on those farms from these rules. Nonetheless, there was such a firestorm against these proposals, not just by agricultural interests, but by many Republican lawmakers, and then some Democratic lawmakers in the farm states also got very worried that it might hurt their reelection, and President Obama thought it might cause him to lose certain states. So he basically, I used the word caved, and he said, we're not going to really consider these proposals for the remainder of my administration, which is pretty strong language, but Human Rights Watch and other groups are really pushing now, saying, tobacco work is so unhealthy for kids. Let's make this one exception and bar this in your last 2 years of office.